Joining us live with tips on how parents can help boost their kids' self-esteem is the self-esteem doctor, Dr. Simone Alicia. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. You say that it's important for kids to hear their parents say good things about themselves. Why is that?
Absolutely. I mean, our kids are learning when they watch us walk, they hear us talk, and of course, they're going to model what they're hearing us say. So it's super important that the words we are using with ourselves become an example that our kids can use, because that can actually start to become their inner voice and their self-talk. So we want to model it and we want to make it positive, for sure.
Also, too, very similar is self-care. We can model that for them as well.
Absolutely. You know, for a kid to be able to say, I've seen my parent meditate, I've seen my parents slow down. We want to normalize that. We want to make it something that becomes a part of their everyday lives and not something that they're like, I've never heard of that, I've never seen that, right? So we want to do it. We want to model it. And then our kids can say, you know what, I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to go slow down, because they do what we do. They may not do what we say, but they certainly will be doing what we do.
They absolutely do. They're always watching. And you say also, in addition to meditation, practice deep breathing exercises with your kids. Have you seen the benefits of this?
Absolutely. See, it helps our kids to focus. And rather than telling them, hey, take a couple deep breaths, you know, we send them off to go do it on their own. If we do it with them, it becomes something that they're really familiar with and they get good at. And it becomes something that they will lean on when it's time to relax and focus. I really have seen this make a big difference in our kids being able to calm down, clear their mind. And when you focus, then you can actually think about a problem in a really different way, which can lead you to an actual solution. So I love deep breathing.
And doctor, you also say that let your children hear you work and talk and think through problems aloud. But my question here is, how do we know we're doing that correctly and that we're modeling that correctly?
I love that question. You know, it seems to me that sometimes we get upset or we're frustrated and our kids witness that. And then all of a sudden, maybe we walk away and we come back like 5 minutes later and we're fine. And I think the kids are like, is that a magic trick? How did you do that? You know, so for us to be able to talk ourselves through something and explain the process we're using to help ourselves feel better, I think that's something that is very positive for the kids. And there are multiple ways to do it. So I wouldn't worry that you're doing it wrong. I think as long as we're being as positive as possible and maybe saying something like, okay, I've got this, I can do this. Let me make a pros and cons list. Let me go take a couple of deep breaths, right? We can actually say what we're doing out loud. And as long as it's positive and forward moving and can explain to our kids how we just moved through that negative emotion into a more positive one, then I think we're being amazing role models for our kids in that case.
I can feel the positive energy coming right off you. What about music and TV? Can we use those to help boost kids' self-esteem?
Absolutely. I mean, the colors, the sounds, the tempo, the pace when it comes to music and TV, it really grabs our attention and it can be so hypnotic, right? And as you're sitting there staring at the TV or relaxing into music, your brain waves are slowing down and, you know, you really are susceptible to the information you're hearing and seeing. So in that case, if we can turn on some relaxing music, some meditation music, some music that have affirmations, and of course, even positive television shows, motivational speakers, all of that stuff is really great for us to kind of fill our kids with that information and with that feeling and that sensation.
Years ago, before I got into television, I was a teacher. I taught high school and English lit, and this is not something we did with the curriculum, but I was a journaler, and so I always had them journal for 5 minutes before class started. And it's amazing how quiet and well-behaved they got once they focused on that.
Oh, yeah, because journaling really allows us to tune in a different way. You know, we talk about positive thinking and think positively, but the truth is there's so much noise, right? There's so much stuff going on around us that 1 minute you're thinking positively, the next minute you're making a supermarket list or thinking about your homework, and you're just not focused. But when you grab that journal and hold it in your hands and really start to pour out your emotions and to build yourself up, oh my goodness, you can certainly get lost in that experience. And it's no surprise to me that your classroom was super quiet because they're out of their heads and on that paper, really being able to express themselves. It's amazing.
Only quiet during that time.
not high school kids.
As teachers know. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And amazing tips. We appreciate it. And for more information on the self-esteem doctor, Dr. Simone Alicia, visit her website, theselfesteemdoctor.com. You can also follow her on social media.
She was great. I
Yeah,
could
really great.
feel that. Everybody just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Right?